If I was willing to risk my life for freedom when I was deployed overseas, you know I will take the fight to the enemies of this nation in the halls of Congress. We are at a pivotal moment in American history.
What's wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you people? What the fuck is wrong with you? This is tyranny! What are you doing? What are you doing? Is this the country? Is this the country you want your kids to grow up in? What is wrong with you? Where's your humanity?
Let's go down, Paul. And thank you for asking. So my pronouns are she, her. And I also wanted to let you all know that I'm comfortable with both masculine and feminine gendered terms. For those of you that don't know what gendered terms are, some examples of masculine gendered terms are like dude or man, so saying like, hey dude, or what's up man. And some examples of feminine gendered terms are like, hey girl, hey queen, that kind of stuff. And as a side note, I know some people use these in a gender neutral way. I used to use dude a lot in a gender neutral way, but it's important to remember, even if you're planning on using them in a gender neutral way, they are still gendered terms. So some people may not be comfortable being called them. It's always best to ask. Second side note, even though I'm comfortable being called feminine gendered terms, please don't call me cis if you're not another Indigenous person, unless I've invited you to. Cis is a term of endearment within the Indigenous community that we use to identify each other. So I'm not comfortable being called it by non-Indigenous people. And never call me cis in a sarcastic way.
Nah, don't do that. She trying to bring somebody with her. Oh! It's lit. 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 She didn't call her whole charge.
Talk about voter, quote unquote, the myth of voter fraud. According to MIT election data and science lab, only about 0.00006% of total mail-in votes cast are results of voter fraud. That's less likely than being striked by lightning. Let's talk about voter
Gender, sex, and gender expression, all three things, are on a spectrum. The binary sexes that you're referring to are outdated. That would be female and male. Usually, when you think female as a sex, you also think woman. However, there are people that are biologically born female that identify as non-binary or as men. All of that is to say that there is an entire section of in-between. You could argue that there's three, but in reality there are multiple sexes because sex refers to your chromosomes. There are about 5 common sexes with a myriad of different other combinations that are also possible. And there are many gender identities in between male and female, including gender non-conforming, gender queer, non-binary, among other things. If you want more information, I would suggest going online and doing a little bit of research.
So we have a principal focus on race-related issues, a complete abandonment of the responsibility of this body to secure the border of the United States. It's wide open. Opioids running amok, cartels own it, people pouring across it to their detriment and ours, ranchers getting overrun in Texas. And now today, just yesterday, or I don't know, last few days, the Senate Armed Services Committee votes overwhelmingly to draft our daughters. Heck, we had 8 Republicans of the 13 vote for that nonsense. To draft our daughters. Like, who are we? A genuine question. Who are we as a people, as a country? Like, where are the sacred boundaries of being able to decide how to live and to recognize truths? That man is man, that woman is woman, and that I as a father do not want to have my daughter get drafted. And you say, well, what about, I think, draft your son, use the power of the government to draft the son. We can have a debate about ending the draft. Everyone comes back and says, well, don't worry, there's not going to be a draft. There hasn't been a draft in 50 years. So don't worry about it. What do you mean don't worry about it? When my daughter turns 18 in 8 years and she has to go sign a piece of paper to register, I shouldn't be worried about my daughter getting drafted and go get sent to a foxhole in Afghanistan or Iraq or somewhere else? What do you mean don't worry about that? Yet that's precisely what this body is doing. The Senate Armed Services Committee voted on it. The House already has that language. Let me be perfectly clear. I will not be honoring whatever law says is drafting my daughter.
Chairman Leahy, Leader McCarthy, Senator Casey, Congressman Scott, Congressman, where is he? There you are, Paul. You understand this better than anybody does. I want to thank you, Congressman, for all your work. And I want to thank you all for being here. Second, by the way, where's Mom? Mom, is she here? Oh, she's watching. Okay, I thought you looked and said, Mom is out there. I was going to ask her to stand up, but Mom, you can't stand up if you're home.
Is Kevin McCarthy a moron, and if so, why?
I said earlier in my comment, science, 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 and science. On almost every subject that you can name, science is the answer. Whether it's the climate crisis, whether it's a health crisis, whether it's our preeminence in the world in technology, science, 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 science. To say that wearing a mask is not based on science, I think is not wise, and that was my comment.
Is Kevin McCarthy
deputato, colleghi deputati, collega Mollicone, deputato Mollicone, la richiamo all'ordine. Tornate al vostro posto e depositate i cartelli. Tornate nelle vostre postazioni.
Tornate al vostro posto e depositate i cartelli. Tornate nelle vostre postazioni. La seduta sospesa.
Ma dimmi che non potevano sospenderla prima a questo punto. È anche più bello sospenderla per le persone costituzionali.